Addict. I'm Ben Harrison, and today we're going to look at not just stretching our hamstrings. I think that in yoga a lot of the time we overstretch our hamstrings, potentially under-strengthen them, and yeah, we neglect the other side of our leg, literally. So quadriceps and hip flexors. It's kind of strange when we talk about quadriceps and hip flexors because there's some overlap here, okay? Really, when we talk about stretching the quadriceps, we can only stretch one out of the 4 quads. We can stretch the rectus femoris. This is the one that crosses the hip joint. There's also the iliopsoas, which is the iliacus muscle connecting to the psoas through here. There's a tensor fascial artery. There's a few different things going on, but from now on, for the rest of the video, we're going to call it the hip flexors. Okay. This is what we're doing. We're going to stretch them out. We're going to bring this leg back from here in flexion. We're going to take it back through into extension. We're going to focus here rather than into the hamstrings. So hopefully, if you've been stretching your hamstrings a lot and you're finding yourself sat down a lot and you're shortening here and tightening here, this sequence is going to give you some balance. We're also going to work some strength on these. Warm them up before we stretch them out. And this is going to be useful because it's not just the case that our hip flexors are tight. It's often the case that they're tight and not that strong as well. So you get a little therapy for modern living. Let's get into it. We're going to bring ourselves to lie on our mat. Now there's no variation in this, so I'll just swap ends. We lie on our mat with the soles of the feet together. We allow our palms to go skyward, or to bring them into a diamond shape and put them over the belly button if you like a kinesthetic cue. We just slow down our breathing. Focus on creating long, slow exhalations, preferably through the nose. We want to do at least 5 of these to get ourselves in the correct state for yoga. Correct side of the nervous system, come and activate it. It's the parasympathetic side of the nervous system. Something that we want to predominantly use in the practice. Do Ujjayi breathing, if that's in your practice. Use your bandhas, etc. As always, guys, modify practice for any injuries, of course. Slowly. I'm going to bring the legs together. You can use your hands too if you want. I'm going to heel toe these out to hip distance apart. Hands down, press your shoulders back into the mat, lift below the belly button and roll on up until the chest starts to come towards the chin. Inhale. I'm going to bring the hands up overhead. Maybe lift a little higher, maybe lift up onto your toes if you want to. And then exhale. Synchronize, lowering the heels and rolling every disc of the spine down to the mat one at a time. Heel toe. Feet back together, legs back together. Elevate here, supine chair, reach forward. Hold 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Forward the legs, catch the feet, and roll up to seated. You can just roll to one side and push up to seated if you prefer. Alright, so let's start to activate now the hip flexors. So not the rectus abs as much. I'm going to switch on and scale work right here. Now we're going to need to lift up and in below the belly button. to create this contraction. So vacuum up. Let's scale it first. We're going to lean backwards a little bit. We're going to point our feet, legs are engaged. We're going to lift that right leg up and hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. Lift left. Hold. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Down. Shake and move out. So this is where things get pretty challenging. We're going to see if, and again you can lean back further if you need to, it's fine. If we can lift both legs up and down, and we'll go for repetitions on this, so we're just going to come up and down 5 times. It might be this today, it's okay. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Release out. Okay, I'm going to separate the flesh of the C-bones and maybe scale it up to vertical. Maybe even into a bit of a forward lean. The further you lean forward, the more challenging this is going to get. Okay? Walking out on fingertips here is obviously going to be more difficult, the greater lever than being here. I'm going to vacuum below the belly button, point the feet, engage your legs. I'm going to lift this right one up and down for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, down. Lift left, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and down. Lift both. And down. And that last one is what a press handstand feels like. It's the feeling of taking off up into it. Alright, good job. We've strengthened our hip flexors and start to stretch, extend through the hips. So we're going to walk on over into our all fours position. Pull the mat apart with your hands, feel your back switch on, pull the mat apart with your knees and feel your butt switch on. Inhale, little arch of the back, trying to do less of it with the neck, more of it with the rest of the spine. Exhale, round. Repeat, inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale, just come to neutral. Alright, stepping back, plank position, holding 5, round out back 4, 3, 2, 1, hinging back into downward facing dog. Relax the neck, let that hang. You can take any little freestyle movements you want to. You can bring the forearms down onto the mat. You can kind of wipe these through. You can internally wipe them. Again, release the neck, walk out the dog. Move the hips side to side. You can literally draw a circle with your ass if you want to. This is a good way of getting some movement into your QLs. Which get pretty tight when you sit down for long periods, which a lot of us do. Alright guys, inhale, bring the feet together and elevate the right leg up into the air. So working on mobility now, and bringing that hip back into extension. We're going to point the foot to bring it up and over the body, gaze out from the right armpit, but keep equal weight in both hands. Re-straighten, square hips, bring knee towards nose, touch nose, step foot down between the hands. Okay, you can do that as clumsily as you like guys, it's okay. Right, as long as we're making the effort to control it and slow it down. You can even use your hand to nudge your foot forward. We're going to pull the hands to the inside of the foot anyway. And this part is a little bit Scaravelli inspired, so we're just moving around here, exploring the leg. Clockwise circles, anti-clockwise circles, back and forth. You can come down on forearms, you can come down onto your chest maybe. Feeling tired today? Who cares? Drop that rear knee down and just work some flexibility. It's whatever you want to get out of the practice. And that being said, a lot of the time we come to practice and want to do the things that we're good at and we find easy. It's often the case that we need to spend a bit of time in the positions that we don't enjoy quite as much, but making them manageable. Alright, so here we are, we're already into this hip flexor. We're going to walk this foot in a little bit, bring it back towards central. We're going to start to lift up here. Squeeze your bum, punch that hip down forward. Butterfly with the hands, you don't have to be as theatrical about it as I'm doing. But we're going to bring that up and over into a back bend. Come back to vertical, release that hand to the thigh. A lot of people don't really recognize about the hip flexor, it's not structured in yoga sequences that much, is that it doesn't just stretch from a back bend and this extension of the leg here, it's also from a side bend. So if you combine the two things, you get a huge stretch through it. So move side bend towards the bent leg. And then here's how we can start to bring it down towards quad rectus femoris. I'm going to release this hand down, pull my heel up towards my butt. You can pad out that knee a little bit if you wanted to with a towel or something. With whatever mat you're using, you can flip it over and use the edge of it. It's warrior addict mats, pretty good, it's pretty padded anyway, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to flip it over, I'm going to reach back, I'm going to catch a hold of my foot from the outside. You don't even have to do that, you could be here, working strength in your hamstrings, it's fine. But maybe you get a hold of the foot with a hand or a strap, square the chest forward, kick into the foot, squeeze your bum. Maybe even, if you're feeling really flexible today, come down here on the forearm. This is it, guys. This is the peak pose, if you will. I don't always have a peak pose because it's a subjective experience on the mat, but I feel like this is it today. Release that leg back. Release the mat, reframe. We're going to step back, plank position, maybe a vinyasa, why not? Exhale, forward, halfway down, you can do it from the knees or the toes, come onto the top of the feet, inhale, lift it up, push the floor away, exhale, come back, down dog, same flow, opposing side, inhale, three-leg dog, pause for a moment, feel your glute max switch on. Point the foot, bend the knee. I look out under the left armpit most of the time, but some teachers will say to look out from under the right armpit. Try both, see which one you like. Or should I say, see which one you find most useful. Straighten out the leg. Walk the hands to the inside of the foot and explore the hips. What are your hips saying? You don't have to rush into anything with yoga. In fact, it's quite the opposite. I advise you not to. There's a Golgi tendon response from the body when you rush into extending a muscle. And it's like a seatbelt. If you try and pull it out too fast, it locks in place. You don't want to do that to the body. You want to sneak past that Golgi tendon response. So let's put quite a lot of emphasis on mobility work, which is like your active flexibility work in my sequences and my practice, but it's not to say there isn't a role for passive extension. It can be useful. Doing a little bit here, quite passively, in a lizard gecko pose. Alright, so I'm going to reframe, walk that in, and walk it back a little as well. So I have a little bit of dorsiflexion going on here. Hip squat, coming up. You can stay here, you can stay hands on the floor, all good. Butterfly, switch the thumbs. Doesn't have to be theatrical. Going back to vertical, we're going to side bend towards the bent leg. So try not to twist here, but just side bend. Notice if you stop breathing or your breath work has become short, bring that breath work back. Left hand that's on the left knee reaches back for that right foot. You can float the mat over if you feel like you want to or you need to. You shouldn't really be on the knee too much anyway. We're trying to roll forward off that kneecap. Everyone comes here and wants to twist, because that would be easier, right? It would get away from extending out that hip flexor, but you know, we want to do the challenging work in a way which makes it look very unchallenging. We're trying to be like a monk in a waterfall, you know, frozen water falling on them and they look very serene. Trying to create stressful postures and positions. Approach them with this calmness, this inner calm, this parasympathetic nervous system. Going to release that back. Reframe the foot. Step back. Vinyasa optional. Exhale. Inhale, draw the shoulders back. Exhale. Coming back through into down dog. Lift on the toes, roll the spine forward, plank. Exhale, lower all the way down. Down's choreo class. Point the left hand forward, look to the right. Click your fingers, roll onto your back. Okay, it's not perfect. We end up shuffling ourselves back onto the mat. And now when we come back into the Supta Baddha Konasana, or just Shavasana, we're going to feel that our hip flexors have opened a little. Might feel a little more comfortable than it did at the start of our practice. Just be passive here. For the last couple of minutes, again, it's quality more than quantity. Tunnel of your awareness, all your focus to the breath.